forgot to remind me. Let's go chat. So we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to do some more. We're going to have to factor. And we're going to have to go back to that thing we learned right before of how to complete the square. Right? That's why I'm giving the whole morning, because we're going to have to relearn some skills. If you remember those things, today's going to be easy breezy for you. If not, it's going to be a little bit more practice. So if we refer to our cheat sheet, the first one let's practice is let's go from factored form to standard form. Okay. So if we're looking at a sheet here, if we want to go from factored to standard, oh, sorry. If we want factored, if we want standard and we have factored, all we have to do to expand, we have to do both of these things. We're going to go to standard form from factored and vertex form. And what we need to do that is expand, or in this case, FOIL. Okay. So what I will do, let's do an easy one first. Okay. So my goal right now is we're going to standard, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. This is my goal of where I'm going to end up. So the easiest one to start with is, let's do this one. Now, another word for expand is to FOIL. Okay. Put something in chat if you remember what foiling is. Who remembers what foiling is? Put an F in chat if you remember what foiling is. First outside, inside last. Good, good, good. Okay. So let me do one of these FOIL, then I'll give you one. So first, we times first, that equals x squared. We go outside by outside. That's 3x. We do our inside, which is 4x. And then we're going to do our last, which is 12. And then we combine our like terms. All right. So I'm going to give you one of these to work on right now. Let's do this one here. I'll change colors, go to red. Let's go with y equals x plus 6 and x plus 10. Okay. Put a W in chat if you need me to walk you through it. If not, I want you to work at it. So W in chat if you want me to walk through it. And put a D in chat when you're all done it. Oh, Hannah apparently is leaving on me. Sam, you're good? Jack's good. Owen, Haley. Okay, give it 30 more seconds. Wait for Emma. Emma will get mad at me if I don't. Wait for her, most likely. Oh, Kyle, you're here now? If I ever do attendance and you're not here, once you arrive, tell me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you the answer. Avery's good. So this should be your answer. With this being your middle step. How'd we do there? Although I doubt people will tell me if they made a little mistake in it. Why is the 10 not in the answer? The 10 is in the answer in case of like I put these two together, right? Yeah, these two go together to make that number. We collect our like terms. So every time you do that, every time you have like terms like these two here, Jenna, right? The 4x, the 3x, and the 4x combine to make that 7x. All right. So I'm going to add a little wrinkle to this now. What happens if we had this? Let's do this one. When do I put that 5 in? I guess it doesn't really matter. But leave that 5 out until you finish off your brackets. Okay? So if I have this, I still do my first, but this is still in brackets here. That'd be x squared plus 5x minus 3x minus 15. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, no problem. Does anyone have any questions of how I got this part here? And I would simplify this to be x squared plus 2x minus 15. Put a Q in chat if you have a question about it, or nothing if you understand how I got to that spot right there so far. Yep, and then I'd rainbow in the 5. This 5 is going to go into all these 3 pieces, which would equal 5x squared plus 10x. Oh, what is that number? That's 75, isn't it? How do we feel about this? G, good. Everyone sees this here and thinks that's good. There's a 1 in front of the, imagine there's a 1 in front of the x squared. So it's 5 times 1. Does that make sense, Jenna? Because 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times negative 15. All right. So I'm going to give you one of these to work on right now. Let's say, I'll write in black. You guys do this one. Y equals 3 bracket x minus 4 x plus 5. Okay. Same as before, if you want to walk through, put a W in chat, but you have the one beside it. You can kind of walk yourself through it. Haley, where are you sitting today? Are you still in bed or are you at your table? You did one day last time. Before Christmas, you were out of bed. That's because you're sitting in bed. Your bed is tempting you to sleep. All right, get working, stop chatting with me. Put a D in chat when you're all done. Emma, you're good? Amelia is good with the capital D. Feeling confident? Okay, I'll give it 30 more seconds. Okay, I'll start working through it here real quick. So I should get x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 20. Combine my like terms to get x squared plus x minus 20. Then multiply in to get 3x squared plus 3x minus 60. Put a put an N in chat if you got none of it right. Put an A in chat if you got all of it right. And put a P in chat for part of it right. So A is all, P is part, and N is none. Okay. Put an M in chat if you want another one, if you want one more question along this lines. Let's put another question. There's lots of P's in there. Okay. Erica, I have a question for you. Did you get when you got your report card on Friday, was my report in there as well? Did you get my mark on Friday? Oh, interesting. How is the 4? Oh, I just must have, just the way I wrote it. It doesn't matter which one. I did it in a different order. It's the exact same. Like I guess I should have wrote it like this. X squared plus 5x minus 4x minus 20. Same difference. Right? Just as I did in my brain, I worked it through in a different fashion. There you go. Try this one out here. 4, that's a 4. 4 bracket x plus 10, x minus 8. No. It's like this is what you're looking at here. As long as you got to that part, you're 100% right. The order which you put those in, it doesn't matter. They both mean the same thing, right? Whether I go minus 4 plus 5 or plus 5 minus 4. Once again, put a D in chat when you're all done, please and thank you. Okay, give it a minute, 30 more seconds. Stage is good. Okay, I'm going to start working on it. I'll work on it a little bit slower. So I'm going to leave my 4 up front, and then I'm going to FOIL. I'll go in the right order this time, since you guys all got mad at me last time. There we go. Then I'm going to collect my like terms. Put these two together to get plus 2x. Then lastly, I'm going to rainbow in, which gives me that should be my last answer. So same thing as last time. Did you get all of it right, part of it right, or none of it right? I think you had 324. Jenna, what part, do you have a question about what part you got wrong? Your small mistake there? Or do you just see it now and understand your mistake? Four times 80. But you forgot the negative, okay. Yeah, so the way I look at that is what's 4 times 8? Well, 4 times 8 is 32. And then you just add the 0 from the 80. You see that, Sage? You can just plug it in your calculator as well, but
we're on a little break. We're still on a meeting, but we're taking a little break.
Okay.
Am I to play my tablet while we're taking that little break?
How long is your break?
Mrs. McIntosh is gonna set a timer.
Okay, you can play your tablet for a little bit. All right. Fine. Okay, no problem. So right now we've completed. We had to highlight something. We've completed this step here. We've completed this arrow. So now let's go from vertex form to standard form. Okay. So if I want to go from vertex form, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. Let's go with a 2 bracket x plus 4 squared plus 10. Okay. So what we have to do first is we have to expand this. And we're going to pretty much do the exact same thing we did before, except this 10 is just going to hang out to the end. So if I wrote out this, so x plus 4 squared is just x plus 4 times x plus 4. If I wrote this out like this, you guys would all say you could do that, correct? After we just did the previous thing. You guys could give me a thumbs up, which is good. And we're just going to let this 10 hang out. We're not going to do anything with it. We're going to do the exact same thing we did for this part as we did in the previous section. Okay? Which would be to expand it. Let the 10 hang out. We're going to collect our like terms. Let the 10 hang out. And we're going to rainbow. And the 10 has done nothing else, right? But just hang out there. But then when you get to this spot right here, you just can combine these two together. Collect these like terms. And then you're at standard form. Do we have any questions about what I did there? Because what I did was essentially the exact same thing. Once I took this x plus 4 and I made it double because it's this times itself, from here through, those steps are the exact same thing we did before. And at the very end, we just add on that extra point. How confident are that you could do one of these for me out of 5? Okay. All right, so I want you guys to take a run at this one here. Remember, if you want me to walk it through, put a W in chat, but also there's the walk through to the left there. You end up in standard form, Emma. You end up in standard form, where standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. You can see we start in factored form and we end up in standard form. Just like the previous ones, we started in factored form, we ended up in standard form. In the first example, where does 16 come from? 4 times 4. So once you're done, put a D in chat for me, okay? What's her name? Good, good. Oh, looks like we're all done. All right. So, first things first. Oops, wrong color. We expand this out. Now, it's pretty neat when you squared, rainbow that in, 4x plus 24x, oops, 24x plus 36 plus 2, 4x plus 24x plus 38. How did I do? Did I get it all right? So same thing as before. M, P, or N. No, it wasn't M. It was A. A, P, or N. Good. Should I do another one of these with a negative in there? So the question may be like, when would I need to use this? And this gets transferred over to when we do word problems, right? So for example, if I said, a ball is thrown from a building, right? The path of the ball, oh my God, my typing this morning is horrible, is follows the equation y equals x, so let's go like -2 bracket x minus 5 squared. I'm just going to do this for squared right now. Minus. Real. You may have a question like this. So a ball is thrown from a building. So if we were to sketch this out real quick, right? Here's a person throwing a ball. Okay. The path of the ball follows the equation as such. At what height is the ball thrown from? So this here gives us our vertex, right? So if we took a look at this vertex, that should be a plus. That would be 5, 35 is my vertex, right? So I know that it happened, like if it was time versus height. We know that the ball's height at the very max is 35 feet at 5 seconds, but we don't know what the ball's height is. But if we went back and we went, oh, okay, we need to, well, I went to my cheat sheet here and I said, I need my I need my y-intercept, right? And I have standard form. Well, how do I get that? Well, I could substitute in 0, or I could change it to standard form to find it. Okay? Does that make sense, or the context of how I want to do this? Or it could be a case of I need to know when it lands. So I need the x-intercepts. So I need an x-interceptor of 0. I have the vertex. So I need to convert the standard form, then factor or use the quadratic equation. That'd be the time more exactly. Like, when does this ball land? So let's do that all the way through. Okay, so we're going to find when this ball lands. So first thing I want you to do, and I'll write this out bigger for you, is convert this to standard form. Okay, so when you convert that, when you're done converting it to standard form, press, put D in chat for me, okay? I'm going to make sure my equation works as you guys do this, because I just made it up. So first, change this to standard form for me. Now the question I'm going to change, though, I'm going to change it to because I made an error in my equation that you'll see later. Is that your answer? I do believe so. For the old one. So same equation. Something wrong there. How'd you get negative 85, Sam? I think everything's right but the negative 85. Oh, for the old one, as in you did negative 35, yeah. So my drawing was a person throwing a ball off a building. Does that make sense, Logan? A person standing on top of some building or a cliff or something like that. And they throw something off of it, and we're trying to figure out when it lands. Now that was my premise. If you were to punch that into Desmos, what's TBH? Okay. So what we do here, Logan, so if we look here, hi, thank you. We're looking for when it lands. So when it lands, what's that called? That's called a zero, correct? So this is where we go to our cheat sheet. And we go, okay, I want to find a zero, Logan, right? And I have vertex form. So if I have vertex form, I want to find a zero or an x-intercept. I have to convert the standard form, then factor or use a quadratic equation. So the very first step we're doing there is converting the standard form. Does that make sense now, Logan? Yeah. So this is where I'm introducing how to use the cheat sheet and why we're learning to like move things around. Because this question's asking, in this case, the question's asking, okay, we want the root, we want the zero, right? So I had to convert the standard form first. Just like before, if we had a, well, that could work too. All right. So if you're done this, press a D in chat. Yes, you know, Sam just gave us the answer. That's no problem. And then Sam, you'll see my equation was way off. Did we get it all correct? What was Sam's equation? It was 2x squared plus 10x minus 15, correct? Because the previous line to this would have been 2x squared plus 10x minus, minus 50 plus 35. And the previous line to this would have been minus, that's 20, isn't it? Sorry. Going backwards is not that fun. And the previous line to this would have been Does that make sense, Amelia? So you're looking right here. Now the second step here, okay, no problem. The second step here, when we're looking for the zeros, if we go back to our cheat sheet, right, we're looking for our x-intercepts, is we factor, then we factor slash, so that's an or, use a quadratic equation. Does this look like something we could factor really easy, yes or no? Yes or no, does that look like something you could factor super easy? I consider that a no, personally. Right? So then we would use our quadratic equation. Oops. B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A. Right? So that'd be our next step, is to put this into that. But we won't do that right now. What I want you to do, let's go to homework here. Oh, Jebediah, I did this wrong when I made it. This should say, let me fix this on it. You guys can fix this on your other one. This is in Vertex form, so this would be standard form there. Standard. Standard and standard. What I like you to do for the next, we'll come back to class at 10:35 is when we'll come back to class. Okay, and in that time, I want you to convert these equations to standard form for me. Okay? Does that make sense? Do those 4 questions, and you have 30 minutes to do those 4. So generally it's taking you 5 minutes to do each one. So that should give you, should be about 20 minutes plus a 15-minute break. If you want to eat first, then come back, yes. Or you could eat and do it. Oh, let me stop my recording.